So this is kind of where we left off before, and you might have been wondering, you know, what is she doing? Like, why is she creating these extra shapes that she's layering, and she changed the color and all this? And I will be showing you that here in just a minute, really. So I'm just gonna grab these two up here by clicking and dragging and getting both of them selected. You can also hold down Shift and click on one shape and then click on the next to get both of them selected, and we can do an object, arrange, bring to front. So I'm kind of just trying to visualize what I need to be doing here. So I'm actually going to grab this whole thing and do Command C, Command V, so I have it off to the side like I did with this one. And I'm going to take this red shape and I'm going to punch it out of this lower shape. And this is getting a little tricky. I might end up using this one here, which is the divide. It doesn't actually delete anything, it just divides things up into chunks. So if I do this, it's going to be hard to tell what it did, honestly. But dang it, this is getting super confusing. I guess maybe I shouldn't do it this way. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to work the way I'm trying to. Sometimes I can't really wrap my head around what I'm trying to do. So maybe I'll just move this off to the side. I really just want to punch. I really do want to divide this up using this button. And I think it automatically just groups everything together when you do that. So you got Command Z. I did use this and it did divide it up, but I think in order to grab these individual shapes that it made, see how it made a shape out of these? There's actually a square here that's separate now, which is where they overlap. As you can see, where things overlap, it'll divide it out, which is kind of what I wanted. So if I delete this, you can see what we're left with is basically this type of a shape, which is what I was going for, theoretically anyway. And now I want to basically grab this shape and this shape, Command C, Command V. I'll just make a copy because it's probably going to goof it up again. And then I'm going to use that same divide. And so now I have, you know, 1, 2, 3 separate shapes, and I'm actually going to delete this shape and I believe I want to delete this shape. And then I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this one. This is the original one where the two are overlapping. And I just want this square now, I think. This is almost like a brain teaser, honestly, people. But I do have somewhat of a plan that I'm trying to follow through with here. So if I line this up with this shape, delete this one, and then bring this in, and then delete this shape, that was kind of more or less what I was trying to do. At least I think it was. I think that's, oops, pretty close to what I was going for. I think I might be missing something though. Let me see. I'll have to experiment here again with shapes. So I was kind of thinking that, this maybe, and that. So if I select them, yeah, I guess that is kind of what I was going for. And I'm not even sure if that's more successful than even stacking it like this. Like, I'm actually kind of liking this. So I might have to like line them up against each other and see which one I actually like better. So I'm going to move this one over off to the side, and then maybe Command C, Command V, move one over here. These are a little too big for the canvas, I guess. And obviously this looks better because there's color. So if let's see, delete this, and then bring this one over. And I can try deleting the color because really we want to start with black first. And we want our logo to look really good in black, and then we can add color. So I'm actually just going to make this lower one white because I do want to stroke around at least around the top box. So it's kind of like a decision now between these two, I guess. I'm just going to select everything. I did a Command G. I don't know if you really need to do a Command G, but I tend to group things probably more often than I need to, but then I'll ungroup. You can do group here as well, object group, and then I'm ungrouping. Sometimes when I resize things, I group them together before I do it. I feel like I've had better luck with it, better luck resizing things in that kind of way, but man, I think I might like the one on the right better, even though, you know, it's more simple. And I feel like it actually has a little bit more dimension. It almost looks like this is a box that's floating over this box. So actually, that's super duper simple design idea. And like even my fonts, I mean, I'm having like second guessing, like, oh, is this the right, is this the right way to go? No, I'll just make sure I got everything aligned here. Maybe I'll bring it down a little bit so it's more together. You don't want too much space in between. Oh, I must have some boxes over there. You don't want too much space. Oh, yeah, there's a couple boxes here. There must be white boxes. Okay. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Just goofed up my design. I must have accidentally messed up my... Maybe I did have another... I thought I just put a stroke on this box, though. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I had another box underneath it. I guess I did. Okay. So we want to line all these up and make sure... I'll just group this together. Command G to group, or object group. Yeah, we don't want this too far above, like floating away from our... Like, you want them to be... Obviously, you don't want them to be too close either, because then if you get them really close, there's a tension point there. So you kind of need to make sure you're getting your spacing where it looks like it's together, but not too close. I think that looks all right. I'm still not totally sold on this font down here. I might have to mess around a little bit more with this. It's the Mongoose font that I found. And maybe it's just a matter of, you know, sizing it up. Maybe it needs to be bigger. Maybe it should be as wide as the graphic design font. If that's the case, I'm probably going to have to bring up the leading. Where's my character? Oh, type. It says it's open, but I don't see it, so I'll just do this. Well, let's see, where is it? This one. This might have been the one that I remember I kind of like pushed a weird button and then it... Oh, it's right here, duh. Okay, it's probably been there the whole time. Sorry, guys. So here, I mean, if I change that, I'm going to have to create more leading space between my lines, which doesn't actually look all that good. So I don't think that was the right thing to do. I think it's probably just that font maybe that I'm not liking below here. Keep doing that as well. So I don't know. I mean, I did try this. Not sure if I love it. And those R's really do bother me. in lowercase. So this might just not be the right font. Like I might need to find a different font that I like better. But for now, I'm just going to continue forward with this font. So now that we have our shapes, you know, we gave this one a try. Didn't work out, I don't think. I think this one's actually, even though it's more simple, it's better. And if you really wanted to punch out your shapes, like this white box that I created, I mean, I could punch it out of this lower box pretty easily. I wonder if this is grouped together here. Let's see. So I should be able to punch it out using minus the front. So actually now we just have this shape and this shape. Command Z. So yeah, we have, now it's even more simplified as far as we just don't have that extra box in there, which is a good idea. And then you can do a Command G just to make sure this stays together as one piece. Or you can unite it using the Pathfinder tool. And that'll kind of keep it together as one. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do Command Z. I'm actually just going to keep them grouped because maybe, I don't know, I mean, I kind of like having the flexibility of separating them out. Of course, I'm probably never going to need to do that, but group works good to keep things together. This will actually permanently bring it together, so you can't ungroup it later if you use unite, which is probably actually in the long run fine, but I just don't want to do it because I don't need to really necessarily. Yeah. So I guess that's looking decent. And then we can just kind of start working with some color. I already have a really strong idea of what I want the color scheme to be, and it's pretty much just like, you know, printer colors of CMYK. I think that kind of makes sense to make them CMYK colors. And I would suggest, you know, getting your logo looking good in black, and then once it looks good in black, you can start changing the colors. And save out an AI file of your black logo, and probably maybe an EPS, because EPS files are smaller. So you'd have two files of your black logo, an AI and an EPS, and then save out and then once you make your color one, save out an AI and an EPS of that. So you'd have basically 4 different files. And honestly, with logos, you'd probably save out even more than that. Most clients need JPEGs, PDFs, PNGs, like basically all of those file formats, plus the AI and the EPS file of both your color and your black and white version of your logo, just because, you know, EPS and AI files are really large, so they might need a JPEG for an email, or, you know, if they're doing email campaigns, or if they're doing websites, or, you know, they might need a PNG if they needed to have a transparent background and it's for a website. So really it's good to save out like a lot of different types of files for your logo. So we already have the AI file, but we could do save, file save as, I guess. And you can choose EPS here. You could do a PDF as well. I'm just going to do an EPS. And actually, I probably should rename these like with a BW maybe, or a grayscale or gray. And this one should be BW too. But just push save. Okay. And so we have an AI and an EPS of our black and white logo. I can go into I'll go into documents, and 350 will go into our logo project, and then I'll just put the BW on the end of this one too, because that's a good idea to do that. Yeah, and then now, you know, this is actually the EPS file, as you can see, but the AI and EPS files are really similar. The EPS file is a little bit smaller, it's more condensed, but they're really both super high quality files, so it doesn't really matter if you're still in your EPS file when you start adding in your colors. So we'll do that in the next video.